Now, we have already discussed about the advantages and the disadvantages of friction. So, since we already know the advantages and disadvantages of friction, then we are saying that, for instance, if friction is advantageous, there will be need to increase it. There will be need to increase it so that uendelee kufaidika. And these are the ways for increasing friction. Number one is by increasing the normal force between the surfaces. How are you doing this? This can be done by pressing the surfaces together. For example, one among the explanation question, the conceptual question which is asked in this part, unaulizwa kwamba the engine of the car is located over the driver's wheel in order to increase the normal force on the wheels. As a swali inakuja, why the engine of the car is located on the driver's wheel? So you need to understand that it is in order to increase the normal force on the wheels. Lakini njia ya pili ni changing the roughness of the surface. Changing the roughness of the surface. This is more applicable in the car tiles. Unaweza kukuta car tiles zinakuwa zina kama meno hivi. Car tiles zinakuwa kama zina meno hivi ambayo yanakuwa yanakamata chini inavyokuwa inatembea, especially when they are new. So yale yanakuwa yamewekwa ili kuchange the roughness of the surface. So the car treads increase the friction between the tiles and the road. Spikes on football boots. I hope kwenye kucheza mpira shuleni, hata kama hujawahi cheza wewe, you have heard about njum. There are some of the shoes, they are called the njum. So they have some like spikes. When they are digging down while playing football, zinashika chini. So spikes on football boots increase friction between the shoes and the ground. Number three is the use of material with a high coefficient of friction. For example, the car tiles, they are made up of rubber. Rubber is one among the materials which have very high coefficient of friction as compared with other materials. So this increase in friction between the tires and the road inasaidia tire kustick on the road and then kuweza kumove. Kama friction isingekuwepo, manake tire lingekuwa lina slide kwenye barabara, lina slide. And then scrubbing equipment are made rough to increase friction. So here also the concept of increasing roughness. Tunavyosema scrubbing ni kama kusugua. I hope umeshaisikia kitu kinaitwa msasa, steel wire. Hivyo vyote vinafanya scrubbing. So msasa unafanya scrubbing, steel wire inafanya scrubbing. Na hivyo vyote ukiviangalia utakuta surface zake ni rough. Kwa mfano, a rough cloth will have better cleaning qualities as compared to a relatively slippery. Maanake nguo ambayo inakuwa ni rough cloth, yani ile ambayo inakuwa ni haiko smooth, inakuwa ni nzuri kwa ajili ya kitambaa kama hicho, kinakuwa ni kizuri kwa ajili ya kuoshea. Unaweza kujiuliza kwa nini madodoki, our mothers they don't know physics sometimes, but kwa nini madodoki huwa wanaweka, hujaiona kwamba madodoki wameweka labda nguo kama kitambaa, lakini wanakata labda mfuko na ule mfuko uko tu rough hivi, ndio wanakata, wanasema dodoki. So the reason behind is still lies on the concept of friction. Lakini from there, in some of cases, friction is not advantageous, that means it is disadvantageous. And if it is a disadvantage, that means you must look for the ways to reduce it, ways to reduce friction. So as we have already seen, friction is disadvantages in some situation. Some situations is disadvantages. So in such cases the friction should be minimized. Friction lazima tuipunguze kwa sababu haina faida, yani inatuletea tu hasara. Na more especially tunapozungumzia friction inapelekea wear and tear in machine parts. Maana yake hapo friction ni hasara. Tunatakiwa tuifanyie kazi hiyo friction kwa kuona kwamba tunapunguzaje hiyo friction. Kwa hiyo kwanza tunasema kwamba devices such as ball bearings or rulers can change sliding friction into much smaller luring friction. So I know inawezekana hujawahi kujua roller ni nini, lakini in machines kuna vitu ambavyo I don't know unaweza kuona video kwa jina gani, lakini especially kama kwenye magari kuna vitu vinakuwa kama vinaitwa kama ball bearing. So kinakuwa hivi then kinakuwa kama kina goroli hivi. Kwa hiyo hapa katikati kunakuwa kuna kitu kinazunguka huku pembeni tena kinafungwa kitu. So this ball bearing manake huku nje kinafungwa kitu kingine, huku ndani kingine, huku ndani labda inafungwa nani, huku nje inafungwa labda tire. So hii ball bearing inapokuwa ina rotate, hizi goroli hizi zinasababisha, lakini pia hata kwenye baiskeli ni maeneo mengi kuna goroli. Kwa hiyo goroli zinasaidia katika kupunguza friction. Lakini namba 2, a common way to reduce friction is by using lubricant. Lubricant is zote unazosikia ni oili za magari, oili za pikipiki, oil, all of the oil they are lubricants. So a common way to reduce friction is by using a lubricant, such as oil or water, that is placed between two surfaces, often dramatically reduce the coefficient of friction. Hiyo ni njia ya pili. Lakini namba 3, use of speed materials, for example Teflon. So if you remember, tulisema Teflon moja kati ya material na very small coefficient of friction. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu ina very small coefficient of friction, kwa Teflon kutumika kama ni kupunguza friction ina deserve. So we are ending up here, and this is the end of topic. So we'll be having the discussion about this end of topic numerical problems. We'll be having the discussion because some of them you have not done them in the discussion of topic, but we'll discuss these and then later we'll continue with other things. Thank you.